Welcome to the Folktale Project. This is Dan Scholz. Today we have part 3 of The Terrible Head, the story, in part, of the tale of the slaying of Medusa. And we've left off with our young prince, who has spoken to the gods, gotten some advice and information, and headed off to find the 3 Grey Sisters at the end of the world. This is The Terrible Head, Part 3. Their hair was as white as the snow, and their flesh of an icy blue, and they mumbled and nodded in a kind of dream. Their frozen breath hung round them like a cloud. Now, the opening of the cave in the ice was narrow, and it was not easy to pass in without touching one of the Grey Sisters. But floating on the shoes of swiftness, the boy just managed to steal in, and waited till one of the sisters said to another, who had their one eye, "Sister, what do you see? Do you see old times coming back?" "No, sister." "Then give me the eye, for perhaps I can see farther than you." Then the first sister passed the eye to the second, but as the second groped for it, the boy caught it cleverly out of her hand. "Where is the eye, sister?" said the second grey woman. "You have taken it yourself, sister," said the first grey woman. "Have you lost the eye, sister? Have you lost the eye?" said the third grey woman. "Shall we never find it again, and see old times coming back?" Then the boy slipped from behind them out of the cold cave into the air, and he laughed aloud. When the grey women heard that laugh, they began to weep, for now they know that a stranger had robbed them, and that they could not help themselves, and their tears froze as they fell from the hollows where no eyes were, and rattled on the icy ground of the cave. Then they began to implore the boy to give them their eye back again, and he could not help but be sorry for them, they were so pitiful. But he said he would never give them the eye till they told him the way to the fairies of the garden. Then they wrung their hands miserably, for they guessed why he had come, and how he was going to try to win the terrible head. Now the dreadful women were akin to the 3 Grey Sisters, and it was hard for them to tell the boy the way. But at last they told him to keep always south, and with the land on his left and the sea on his right, till he reached the island of the fairies of the garden. Then he gave them back the eye, and they began to look out once more for the old times coming back again. But the boy flew south between sea and land, keeping the land always on his left hand, till he saw a beautiful island crowned with flowering trees. There he alighted, and there he found the 3 fairies of the garden. They were like 3 very beautiful young women, dressed one in green, one in white, and one in red, and they were dancing and singing round an apple tree, with apples of gold on it, and this was their song. "Round and round the apples of gold, round and round dance we. Thus do we dance from the days of old, about the enchanted tree. Round and round we go, while the spring is green, or the stream shall flow, or the wind shall stir the sea. There is none may taste of the golden fruit, till the golden new times come. Many a tree shall spring from the shoot, many a blossom will wither at root, many a song be dumb, broken and still shall main a lute, or ever the new times come. Round and round the tree of gold, round and round dance we. So doth the great world spin from of old, summer and winter and fire and cold, song that is sung and tale that is told, even as we dance and fold and unfold round the stem of the fairy tree." And that is part 3 of The Terrible Head. We'll leave off with the end of the song and learn more about the fairies and the quest to take the terrible head. This is Dan Scholz of the Folktale Project. Don't forget that you can subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, Overcast, anywhere you like to get your podcasts. You can follow us on Twitter at Folktale Project. You can find us on Auto Radio, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, Spotify, anywhere you like to listen. And you can always head over to folktaleproject.com. You'll find a new story waiting for you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. As always, thank you so much for listening.